For This Week in Washington, I'm Brian Darling. Climate change, nuclear energy, and the United Nations are the three big issues this week in Washington. As millions of Americans prepare to spend their stimulus checks, the Senate is getting ready to debate what can be described as an enormous anti-stimulus bill. The legislation, sponsored by Joseph Lieberman of Connecticut and John Warner of Virginia, is a global warming measure that could cripple our economy. According to a soon-to-be-released study by the Heritage Foundation, Lieberman-Warner would cost Americans hundreds of thousands of jobs annually and could double the price of electricity, natural gas, and gasoline by 2030. Please read Legislative Lowdown and Human Events this week for conservative issues coming up in Washington. On Wednesday, May 7th at 10:30 a.m., the Heritage Foundation will be hosting an event titled An International Perspective on Making the Nuclear Renaissance a Reality. Nuclear power is emerging as a realistic option for nations throughout the world to potentially reconcile their environmental and economic objectives. However, in the U.S., questions remain about the viability of a broad expansion of nuclear power. Three countries, Finland, Japan, and the United Kingdom, have made more of a commitment to support clean nuclear power than has the United States. Stephen Groves of the Heritage Foundation has written that the United Nations Responsibility to Protect Doctrine outlines the conditions in which the international community is obligated to intervene in another country, militarily if necessary, to prevent genocide, ethnic cleansing, and other atrocities. Adopting a doctrine that compels the United States to act to prevent atrocities occurring in other countries would be risky and imprudent. Conservatives want to preserve the U.S. independence and protect national sovereignty from the United Nations. That's This Week in Washington. I'll see you next week. For more information, log on to heritage.org and stay tuned next week for more news and information.